So yesterday I talked about the manifestations I observed from my colleague, the meaningless question, the missed social cue, the mask he didn't understand. And I touched on the topic of reading between the lines. I've mentioned it in previous videos as well. But I realized something. I've highlighted its importance. I've talked about why it matters. But I haven't really shared how to do it. I haven't given practical techniques. So today, that's what I want to do. I want to share 6 techniques that can help you read between the lines and identify the real intention behind what people say and do. These come from my own experience and research, and I've been practicing them myself. Technique 1. The why now. Check. When someone says or does something, pause and ask yourself, why are they saying or doing this right now? Context matters. People don't act in a vacuum. If someone offers you something, asks you a question, or makes a comment, there's usually a trigger behind it. The why now helps you identify that trigger. When the mentor offered my colleague a mask, if he had asked himself, why now, he might have realized, because I've been coughing, because we're at a formal event, because she doesn't want me spreading my germs to others. The mask wasn't random kindness. It was a polite hint. The why now check forces you to consider context, not just content. Technique 2. The what's the subtext? Filter. After hearing or observing something, ask, what's the subtext? What are they really saying without saying it? People rarely say exactly what they mean. They hint. They imply. They use indirect language. The subtext is the unspoken message beneath the words. The mentor didn't say, please wear this mask because you're coughing and I don't want you to infect anyone. She said, here's a mask. The subtext was the real message. When someone offers you a tissue while you're eating, the subtext isn't, here's a tissue. It's, you have food on your face. The subtext filter trains you to look for the unspoken message, not just the surface words. Technique 3. The what would I mean? Reframe. Imagine yourself in the other person's position. If you said or did that, what would you be trying to communicate? Empathy is a powerful tool for reading intentions. When you put yourself in someone else's shoes, you naturally start to understand their perspective. If I offered someone a mask while they were coughing, what would I be trying to communicate? Probably, please protect others. If I changed the subject when someone brought up a certain topic, what would I be trying to communicate? Probably, I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to talk about this. The reframe helps you understand others by using your own experience as a guide. Technique 4. The emotional tone check. Pay attention to the emotional tone behind the words, not just what's said, but how it's said. Tone of voice, body language, facial expressions, they often reveal more than the words themselves. A person can say, I'm fine, in a tone that clearly means they're not fine. A colleague can say that's fine, but their tone is flat, their shoulders are tense, and they avoid eye contact. The emotional tone says, I'm not fine. I'm annoyed. If my colleague had paid attention to the mentor's tone and body language, he might have noticed the hesitation, the pause, the subtle signaling. He stayed on the surface and missed everything. The emotional tone check forces you to pay attention to the whole message, not just the words. Technique 5. The what's missing. Scan. Pay attention to what's not being said. The gaps. The omissions. The topics that are avoided. Sometimes, what people don't say is more important than what they do say. If someone avoids a topic, changes the subject, or gives a vague answer, that's a signal. The gaps often reveal the real message. If you ask a colleague if they're free for coffee and they say, I'm really busy this week, but don't suggest an alternative time, the missing piece is, I'm not interested. If the mentor had offered a mask and my colleague had said nothing about his cough, the silence would have been a signal. The what's missing scan trains you to notice gaps and omissions. Technique 6. The intention versus impact distinction. Separate the person's intention from the impact of their words or actions. Sometimes people say things without meaning harm, but it still hurts. Sometimes they mean well, but it lands poorly. Recognizing the distinction helps you respond more thoughtfully. It prevents you from overreacting or misinterpreting. It gives people the benefit of the doubt while still acknowledging how their words affect you. The mentor's intention was kind. She wanted to protect others. The impact on my colleague might have been embarrassment. He felt called out for his cough. Recognizing the distinction helps both parties respond with grace.